So this is just gonna be a vlog. It's a little story from my past. It's something that kind of sort of bothered me every once in a while. I would think about. A lot of you guys out there probably have gone through this. Like, you got a kid out there. Did you somewhere out in the world? So a long time ago, in a universe far, far away, in a meat store, I worked at a meat store. I was 20 years old, just about to turn 21, and this customer came in, and I was heavily doing music, recording music, and we started talking, and she said she sang, and I was like, okay, we'll, so I'll go over your house, and we'll see if we can work some music, write some music together. And honestly, I just wanted to get laid. And I went over there, and what happened was I was living at home, and I had to use my mother's car, and I went over there, and I just ended up staying the whole night without calling. I didn't want to call because then they would say come home, right? So I went home the next morning, and they kicked me out of the house because I didn't call, and I had my mother's car out all night. So I had no place to live. So I ended up moving in with the girl. She wasn't a girl. She was 35. I know. I was all proud back. Oh, I'm 20. I got a 35. All my friends were saying, dude, she got the better end of that deal. And yes, she did. And so I had no place to live, so I ended up living with her. It was supposed to be a one-night stand, but circumstances. And it turned out that she was a shooter. Like, she shot drugs. I figured it out later. But she was just using me for money for drugs. And she'd go out, she'd buy cocaine, but then she'd mix it with the baking soda and turn it into crack. And she was like, oh no, I just want to try it. I just want to see how far it goes. And I'm not addicted. No, I don't really do this hardly ever. And it was like, yeah, right. And because one time I noticed these little round craters on her thighs, like round. Okay. And I said, what are those? How did you get those? And she was like, oh, I got in a fight with this girl, and we were rolling around on the glass, and broken glass. I was thinking, you don't get round craters from rolling around on broken glass. So I was stupid. I was horny and stupid. Horny makes you dumb. And then she had this briefcase with the 3-digit combination. She said there was jewelry in there. Later, I was like, that's probably where she kept her fucking needles. She was completely batshit insane, crazy. And she was always asking me for money. She was just trying to use me. She had 2 kids already. One was 2 and one was 6 from different fathers. Fathers nowhere to be seen. And she was on welfare. And I remember every time that we had sex, she would, I'd grab a condom, and she said, no, you don't need a condom. She said, it'll feel better if you don't use it. I mean, looking back, that's dumb. But I was 20, and I was stupid, and I was horny, and I was thinking with my cock. And I never used the condom. And later I figured it out. Well, she wants a 3rd welfare check. That's it. 3 kids, you get more money. And she was this con artist, too, because one night she was begging me for money. And I was like, no, I don't want to give you any money. And I remember this clearly because she was sitting on the toilet taking a shit while this was happening. And she hands me this paper. When they send out that you might have won $50 million or whatever, $1 million sweepstakes, you might have won, and call this number. And she goes, no, you can give me the money. And she hands me the sweepstake thing that everybody gets in the mail. We're rich. I don't remember the dollar amount. It was millions. We're rich. You and we're rich together. You can give me the money because we're rich. I won, and half of it's yours. And I looked at it, and I was like, I knew what this was. And so I just played it off. I played stupid. I was like, no, I said, this is your money. I have nothing to do with this. That's your money. And anyway, so after being tortured for 2 weeks in that hellhole, my sister rescued me, and I got to move in with her for a little while because I had to get the fuck away from this crazy drug addict bitch. And so then, I don't know, a month later, whatever, she calls my father at my father's house. Where else would you call him? And she's telling him that she's pregnant and I'm the father. And I'm like, oh. And just to show you how much of a scam artist she is, the door to her apartment, it was a third floor apartment, like a house, and like someone had punched through the door. It wasn't a strong door, and she just put this little thin piece of wood. It was like not much stronger than balsa wood, with these little tiny nails, like a step up from thumbtacks, just to cover up the hole. And I didn't have a car, and I was working, and it was January, and I had to ride my bike, and it was like freezing, and it was snow, and she wasn't there. So I basically just I pushed the wood open, pushed it out, and I put my hand through the hole, and I opened the door, and I let myself in so I didn't freeze to death. And then she was telling my father, like a month later, oh yeah, and he broke the door. It's like, I need $500 to fix the, I didn't break the door. It was already fucking, I'm just giving you the backstory to just show you how she was just a severe drug addict looking for money. Fast forward 3 years. I'm looking at a local newspaper, and there's a picture of her. The local newspaper interviewed her because she had moved into the projects, which is drug city. Yeah. And the whole article was about how dangerous it was and how there's drugs being sold all the time. And they just happened to interview her. And then they listed the names of her, at that time, 3 kids. And I looked at the age of the third kid, and it worked out like it could have been mine. I mean, the time frame was right on. And then the second thing that scared me was she named him Dallas, which is was my favorite football team. I don't follow sports. The only sport I follow right now is MMA. But I was into Dallas Cowboys. They sucked that year. I think they were like 7-8. But yeah, I mean, I told her I like Dallas. That made me think, is it really my kid? Did she name him Dallas because it's my favorite team? I had no idea. And then life went on, and then every once in a while I would think about it. Is it mine? I mean, because I know she was a crack whore. So I mean, it could have been one of, I don't know how many, but a lot. So I always thought about it, and just once in a while, back of my mind, it's just something. I don't know. Is it? I don't know. I had no idea. I might not be. I have no idea. So last night I don't know why I didn't do this sooner, but I looked up his name. Easy to find because his name is extremely rare. It's not one of those John Jones when you're trying to dig dirt on John Jones. You're not getting anywhere unless you got like a social security number. So I found him immediately. I checked, past date, match, age, match, name. The name was extremely rare. Everything matched. Okay. So I'm looking at his pictures. And I'm like, no way. That dude, my sperm had nothing to do with producing this dude. All right, the woman was half black, half Hispanic. Okay, so here he is. That's the dude. I'll move over. Oh, I'll move this way because that's where the keyboard is. See, there's no fucking Caucasian in this dude whatsoever. I don't see it. I mean, come on. I'm half German. I'm half Italian. No. That dude's 3/4 Hispanic. The father's obviously Hispanic. I don't even see the quarter black in him. But here, let me go to the next picture. No, my sperm did not produce this person. Yes, he's a gangster, as you would expect. His mother was shooting drugs. Crack and or heroin, or no idea. No father. She only had him for the welfare check, obviously. And yeah, he's got a rap sheet. I didn't even dig. It just shows up when you Google his name. It's like burglary. He just got arrested again in 2012. Yeah, you'd expect that though from that kind of upbringing. And that's him with not my grandkid. No, you see any German in there? Zero, nada, zilch. You see any fucking Italian in that? Nope, I don't. So anyway, this is just something that I will never, ever, ever have to think about again for the rest of my life. Amen.